Ever wondered how a small island nation became a global superpower? Greetings everyone. Today, we'll delve into England's transformation from Celtic roots, Roman conquests, Viking invasions, and the rise and fall of empires, to the world wars, and the birth of the European Union. By the 1st century BC, the area now known as England was inhabited by the Celts, a collection of tribes with diverse cultures and languages. The Celts, known for their distinct culture and societal structures, were flourishing across the region. However, the Roman Empire, which had built up a huge state during this period, invaded Britain with overwhelming military might, and the Roman Empire's conquests extended throughout Britain, except for the less subdued northernmost regions. However, the Roman Empire, then the dominant power in Europe, reached a turning point when it split into two. The overextended empire, with territories stretching from Europe to Turkey and northern Africa, divided into the Western and Eastern Roman empires to streamline governance. This strategic division marked the formal separation and distinct identities of the Western and Eastern Roman empires. From then on, the island of Britain was ruled by the Western Roman Empire. While the division of the Roman Empire was a major event, another major event that shook the history of Europe occurred in 395. This was the Great Germanic Migration. The Great Germanic Migration involved various Germanic tribes moving from northern Europe into territories once part of the Western Roman Empire. The Germanic people entered the territory of the Western Roman Empire, where they gradually gained power. In the midst of this situation, a major event occurred once again. This was the fall of the Western Roman Empire. At the time, Western Rome was a vast empire that extended across much of Europe and into northern Africa. But it fell to a faction of Germanic tribes. With the fall of the Western Roman Empire, Roman rule over Britain ended, and the Anglo-Saxons, a Germanic people, came next to settle on the island. The Anglo-Saxons established several kingdoms, initiating a period of cultural development and territorial expansion across the island. However, in the 8th century, the Anglo-Saxons' position of dominance over Britain began to waver. The Vikings were responsible for this. The term Vikings refers to seafaring warriors from modern-day Denmark, Sweden, and Norway, renowned for their extensive raids and expeditions. The Vikings also invaded the island of Britain. The Vikings and the Anglo-Saxons engaged in a prolonged, fierce struggle for territorial control, a conflict that extended into the 11th century. The initial struggles between the Vikings and the Anglo-Saxons culminated in the establishment of the Danelaw, an area of England under Viking control. Subsequent conflicts continued until the 11th century, with the Norman conquest marking the end of the Viking Age in England. Following the Viking era, William I of Normandy, hailing from present-day northern France, seized control of England and was crowned king. At this time, William I became both King of England and a vassal of the King of France, a complex relationship that would sow the seeds of future conflicts between England and France. After several successors, Henry II, of the House of Plantagenet, ascended to the throne. Henry II, who was half English and half French, originally held the western part of France, and thus controlled most of the island of Britain and most of western France. This dominion, often referred to as the Angevin Empire, encompassed vast territories in France and the entirety of England. The French monarchy, however, bristled at the notion of vast French territories under English control. From this point on, generations of battles over English territory in France ensued, which resulted in England's defeat, and the loss of almost all of its territory in France. At the same time, the Angevin Empire, which had possessed enormous power and territory, collapsed. However, the conflict between England and France did not end there. Next came a great and incredibly long war that would shake England and France, and even the whole of Europe. The 100 Years' War, which lasted from 1337 to 1453, began in the following main ways. First, the French royal family was about to be severed, and a new French royal family was about to be born. However, many kings of England, who were of French royal blood, insisted on the succession. Naturally, the French royal family would not allow the King of England to become King of France. In response, the King of England launched a military invasion of France, in order to succeed to the French throne, even if by force. The 100 Years' War, initially a matter of dynastic contention, grew more complex with the advent of the Black Death, plunging the nation into vulnerability and chaos. As a result, peasants in England, economically devastated, revolted on a large scale, plunging the country into a state of chaos. In the 15th century, however, England began its invasion of France. This began the second phase of the 100 Years' War. Eventually, the English were forced to withdraw from within France. With this, the conflict, inaccurately named the 100 Years' War, despite its 116 years duration, eventually concluded. After the end of the 100 Years' War, an era of religious reform began in Europe, led by Germany, and a conflict between the Church of England and Catholicism gradually emerged in England. Religious tensions mounted in England, notably between the Church of England and Catholicism, with Queen Elizabeth I emerging as a key figure during this tumultuous period. Although Queen Elizabeth herself was a member of the Church of England, she successfully suppressed religious conflicts in England by cooperating with Catholics through skillful diplomacy. Her diplomatic skill had a profound impact on the political fabric of the United Kingdom. After the death of Queen Elizabeth, the ascension of a new king led to growing tensions between the monarchy and parliament, culminating in conflict spurred by the king's autocratic rule. Dissatisfied with the king's dictatorship, the parliament began to fight to overthrow him. The events that followed are known as the Puritan Revolution. The Puritan Revolution ended in a parliamentary victory, and the king was publicly executed. After the English Civil War, also known as the Puritan Revolution, Oliver Cromwell, a prominent military leader, established a republic, aiming to unify the nation under his rule. However, Cromwell gradually developed a dictatorial policy, and his regime was brought down by those who opposed it. Realizing that a republic would eventually give birth to a dictatorship, the people in Parliament decided that a monarchy would be better, and they decided to start a monarchy again. However, once the monarchy was restored, certain kings exhibited autocratic tendencies. The Parliament, wary of the persistent threat of dictatorship, decided to invite a new monarch from abroad to the throne. The throne was then offered to William III of Orange, from the Netherlands. During the Glorious Revolution, William III secured immediate support upon his English arrival, precipitating the dethronement of the reigning king. William III endorsed parliamentary governance, reducing his own royal prerogatives to foster a more balanced power structure. William III's conscientious policies helped to end the turmoil in England, and the country continued to grow and develop. In 1707, it was decided that England and Scotland would be united, thus giving birth to the Kingdom of Great Britain. In the 19th century, the Industrial Revolution took place in the United Kingdom, and various machines were invented. The United Kingdom came to hold the overwhelming production power in the world, and grew to the point where it was called the world's factory. It went out into the world to procure resources and explore new markets, forming numerous colonies. In the 20th century, however, the Industrial Revolution took place in many European countries, and like the United Kingdom, some nations began to move toward acquiring colonies. In the process, various interests began to conflict, leading to World War I. In 1914, World War I broke out. World War I was fought between the Allied powers, led by Great Britain, France, and Russia, and the Central Powers, comprising Germany, Austria-Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire, and it became a war of unprecedented magnitude. Britain leveraged diplomatic acumen to forge alliances in the Middle East, Italy, and other regions. In addition, Britain effectively used its superior naval power to fight Germany to a favorable outcome. However, the war gradually worsened, resulting in massive casualties in each country. However, in the final phase of the war, the United States, which had previously taken a neutral position, entered the war on the side of the Allies, and the entry of the United States into the war became decisive, making World War I a victory for the Allies. The end of World War I brought temporary peace, but was followed by the Great Depression and a period of global recession. England was also affected by the Great Depression. Owing to its extensive colonial empire, England managed to mitigate these economic challenges through intra-empire trade. However, countries like Germany and Italy, which did not have so many colonies, suffered directly from the Great Depression. As Hitler gained public support in Germany, his tyrannical policies gradually escalated, leading to World War II. When Germany invaded Poland in 1939, World War II began. This war started out with Germany's overwhelming speed and the fall of Paris, France. Germany then launched an invasion of England, leading to what is known as the Battle of Britain. This battle became an air battle using fighter planes, and both sides fought at a high level. However, the British, who skillfully used radar, gained the upper hand, and the battle gradually progressed in favor of the British. The Battle of Britain concluded with a strategic British victory in October 1940, significantly aided by advances in radar technology. By 1945, after a series of defeats, with the substantial involvement of the Soviet Union and the United States, the Axis powers, including Germany and Japan, capitulated, bringing World War II to a close with an Allied victory. Following World War II, the global landscape shifted with the onset of the Cold War. During this period, many former colonies, including territories in India, Southeast Asia, and Oceania, sought and gained independence from the United Kingdom. Furthermore, the United Kingdom played a role in the early stages of what would become the European Union, seeking to promote European integration. This era of collaboration and conflict has shaped the contemporary United Kingdom. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more insightful content. Take care and see you in the next video. Goodbye.